Got to get to the news right now. We got an update on two Minneapolis overnight shootings. The first one happened just off of Lyndale Avenue downtown at Mortimer's Bar. Reports of shots fired came in about 12:30 this morning, and we now know a victim was shot and taken to Hennepin Healthcare with non-life-threatening injuries. Police say no arrests have been made so far. Across town, about 15 minutes later, police responded to the second shots fired call. This one coming from Penn Avenue North about 12:45. Officers were able to identify two males, both with gunshot wounds. They were transported to North Memorial and are expected to make a full recovery.
We're also following an overnight house fire in Plymouth. Just before midnight, crews responded to a home on Zircon Lane. It's just off Highway 101. You can see there was some damage to the front of the home, the siding, the garage door. We're waiting to hear more details from the Plymouth Fire Department.
Today, some justice for Sam Norquist, a transgender man from Oakdale, Minnesota, who was tortured and murdered in upstate New York last year. Sam was 24 when he traveled to New York in September 2024 to meet who his family says was his online girlfriend, Precious Arzwaga. On Friday, Arzwaga pleaded guilty to torturing Sam for around a month before his body was found in a field last February. She is one of 7 defendants that was charged.
Seeing her for the first time in person was extremely hard and difficult. Just hearing it out loud and her admitting that she did it, I almost threw up in open court today.
Arzwaga is expected to be sentenced in September to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Tomorrow, Sam's mom and sister are going to walk the Twin Cities Pride Parade to honor his memory.
Today marks 31 years since former news anchor Jody Huisentruit went missing. Officials believe she was abducted on her way to anchor the morning news at KIMT3 News in northeastern Iowa. Huisentruit was a Minnesota native from Long Prairie. She was just 27 years old when she disappeared. Today, her family is asking people to leave their porch lights on or a light or a candle to recognize her unsolved disappearance and, of course, raise awareness. You can post a picture on social media using the hashtags #LightsForJody and FindJody.
We got a live look over Highway 62 in Edina, which you can see 0 cars because it is shut down for the weekend. Highway 62, both directions from 100 to 35W, closed until 5 a.m. on Monday. The city of Edina says crews will be removing the Roslyn Park pedestrian bridge as part of a replacement project there. You got to use 100, I-494, 35W for detours to get around that. The Special Olympics USA Games hosted their closing ceremony last night at Huntington Bank Stadium, marking the end of an awesome and competitive week for more than 3,000 athletes. Team Minnesota held the most medals, of course, throughout the games. 136 medals we got. Other delegations headed home with medals as well. 81 from Texas, 73 from Florida, 62 from Michigan.
And MSP is preparing for athletes and fans and coaches to travel home this morning by creating accessible spaces. Minnesota nonprofit Fraser partnered with the airport to create a sensory-friendly space for athletes. The temporary space was designed to give athletes an environment to decompress and to regulate their emotions before they take those flights. MSP currently developing a permanent sensory space for all travelers to utilize.
So we interviewed Minnesota Special Olympic gymnast Paige Trombley. It was a few weekends ago, if you remember, and she was featured in a short film called Soaring that shows her journey to the Special Olympic Games. So the Rosemount native, this is how she did. She medaled in all 5 of her events, and she's bringing home 2 golds and 3 silvers. It was a pleasure to talk to her, and congratulations, Paige. It's awesome.